You know that moment when you react with your child and almost immediately you think, "Why did I do that again?" You weren't trying to be harsh. You weren't trying to scare them. You were just done. And the part that hurts is this. You actually know better. You've watched the videos. You've saved the posts. You've promised yourself, next time I'll stay calm. But next time comes and your voice rises anyway. If you've ever wondered why this keeps happening, this video is for you. And if that question has been living in your head for a while, welcome to Childhooder, the place where parenting finally makes sense. By the end of this video, you'll understand why knowing better isn't enough in the moment, and what actually helps when your body takes over. Let's make it real. It's the end of the day. You're carrying a lot. Work, chores, messages, and your brain hasn't had a quiet minute. There's noise everywhere. Notifications, people needing things, screens in the background. Even rest doesn't feel like rest anymore. And your child is moving fast, talking fast, asking for things, changing the rules every 30 seconds. You're trying to hold it together. Then comes a small request. Please put your shoes on. Please turn that off. Please just listen. And your child pushes back. Not necessarily in a dramatic way. Sometimes it's the eye roll. Sometimes it's the no. Sometimes it's the ignoring. Sometimes it's that one tone that feels like a tiny slap. And suddenly, you feel it. Your chest tightens. Your face gets hot. Your thoughts speed up. You hear yourself getting sharp. And you react. Maybe you snap. Maybe you threaten. Maybe you lecture. Maybe you grab the phone out of their hands. Maybe you say something you don't really mean. And then the moment passes, and the guilt comes in. You replay it in your head. You think, why can't I just be the parent I want to be? You look at your child and you feel two things at the same time: love and regret. Here's what I want you to hear first, before we talk about anything else. This doesn't mean you're a bad parent. It doesn't mean you don't love your child. It doesn't mean you're not trying. It means you're human, parenting in a noisy world. Now let's talk about the shift that changes everything. Most parents think this problem is a willpower problem. I just need more patience. I need to control my emotions. I need to be calmer. I need to try harder. But that's not what's happening. The truth is, in those moments, your thinking brain isn't leading. Your nervous system is. And when your nervous system takes the lead, knowledge doesn't disappear, it just becomes harder to access. Here's the simplest way to picture it. You have a part of your brain that helps you pause, think, choose your words, and stay intentional. That part works best when you feel safe, rested, and regulated. But when you're tired, when your day has been heavy, when you've been holding tension for hours, your brain shifts into protection mode. Not because you're dramatic, not because you're weak, because that's what brains do. In protection mode, your body prioritizes speed over wisdom. It's like your system is saying, handle this now, stop the threat, end the chaos. And here's the tricky part. Your child's behavior doesn't have to be bad to feel threatening. If your body is already overloaded, even normal pushback can land like danger. That's why you can know the right response and still react. Not because you don't understand, because understanding is not the same thing as regulation. Let me make this even clearer with one example. Imagine your child ignores you. You ask again. They ignore you again. If you're regulated, you might think, okay, they're distracted. I'll get closer. I'll connect. I'll guide. But if you're already at your edge, your brain reads it as, I'm being disrespected. I'm losing control. This is going to spiral. Same behavior, different nervous system, different response. The shift here is that your reaction isn't proof you don't know what to do. It's proof your body didn't have enough support to do it. That's a completely different story. And when you change the story, your guilt starts to loosen. Because now you stop asking, what's wrong with me? And you start asking the right question. What is my system carrying right now? Now, I'm not saying you're not responsible for how you respond. You are. But responsibility without understanding becomes shame. And shame doesn't make you calmer. It makes you tighter, more reactive, more exhausted. So we're going to keep the responsibility and remove the shame. and I want to show you two very common traps parents fall into right here, and why they make things worse. Trap number 1. You try to win the moment. You get louder, you get stricter, you try to control the outcome fast. Sometimes it works in the short term, but what your child learns is fear, not guidance. And what your body learns is that yelling is the emergency button. Trap number 2. You start lecturing. You explain. You overtalk. You try to teach the lesson while your child's brain is already flooded. But when a child is overwhelmed, their thinking brain is not online either, so the lecture doesn't land. It just adds more noise. So what's the alternative? Not a perfect script, not a magic technique. A tiny pause that gives your thinking brain a chance to come back. Here's the only thing I want you to practice after this video. Not a long list, not a perfect method. One small, powerful orientation. The next time you feel yourself rising, before you try to fix your child, notice your body. That's it. Notice your body like a scientist. Is your breath fast or shallow? Is your jaw clenched? Are your shoulders up? Is your chest tight? Is there heat in your face? Is there a rush in your hands? Because the moment you can name what's happening in your body, you're no longer fully inside the reaction. You've created a tiny gap. And inside that gap, you have a choice again. If you want a simple tool to use inside that gap, here's one that takes 5 seconds. Feet, breath, name. Feet. Feel your feet on the floor. Breath. Exhale slowly once. Name. Quietly name what's happening, like, I'm getting flooded. I'm getting triggered. I'm getting tight. That's not fluffy. That's biology, because naming it slows the speed of the reaction. It gives your brain a handle, and when you have a handle, you can steer. Not perfectly, but better. Sometimes the only choice you can make is, I'm going to lower my voice 1 level. I'm going to breathe out before I speak. I'm going to get closer instead of yelling from across the room. I'm going to say 1 sentence, not 10. Small choices, but small choices are how your nervous system learns. This is why calm parenting is not a personality trait. It's a practiced skill. And it's also why so many parents feel frustrated with parenting advice, because advice often skips the part where your body is already activated. It says, just stay calm. It says, use this phrase. It says, try this technique. But it doesn't teach you what to do when you're already at a 7 out of 10. And most real-life parenting happens at a 7 out of 10. So if you're listening and thinking, okay, but I still mess up, good. That means you're in reality. This isn't about becoming a perfect parent. It's about becoming the kind of parent who returns. You return to your intention. You return to connection. You return to repair. Because here's another truth that changes everything. Your child doesn't need you to never react. They need you to repair when you do. So if you reacted today and you're carrying guilt, let your next step be simple. Go back to your child later, when things are calmer, and say something like, that moment got big for me. I raised my voice. I'm sorry. I'm learning too. We're okay. Then stop. Let silence do the rest. That one repair teaches your child more emotional intelligence than 10 perfect lectures. And it teaches your nervous system something too. I can come back. I can repair. I don't have to stay stuck in shame. Now, let's bring this home. If your child pushes back, if they melt down, if they ignore you, and you feel yourself rising, it doesn't mean you're failing. It means your nervous system is asking for support. And support can look like many things. Sleep, food, less noise, more help, more pauses. But the most powerful support, the one most parents don't have, is a place where you can practice this with other parents who get it. One more thing, because this is real life. Sometimes you won't catch it before you react. You'll catch it after. If that happens, do this tiny reset with yourself before you go into guilt. Exhale. Soften your shoulders and say, I lost the moment, not the relationship. Because the fastest way back to connection is not punishment. It's presence. Which brings me to this. Understanding is one thing. Practicing it in real life is harder, especially alone. Moments like this, when you know better but still react, are exactly what parents bring into childhooder. That's what childhooder is for. If you want a calm place to practice, reflect, and grow together, the link is in the description. And before you go, I want you to remember this. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're learning a skill most of us were never taught. One moment at a time. One pause at a time. One repair at a time. And if today was hard, let this be your permission to start again tonight. I'll see you in the next video.